Let's get into something that you know is very close to my heart, Brandon Sprague. Spring football, baby.
I know. You're a big spring football guy.
You're asking why am I not going to watch a certain NBA game tomorrow? I got a spring showcase on TV. I love watching spring football, man. You get a little glimpse of the team, some of the new players, kind of track what's going on. Big fan of it. And Oregon State spring showcase is tomorrow. Joining us now, a good friend of the program, Angie Machado, at Angie Machado1 on Twitter, the owner, of course, of BeaverBlitz.com. And she's kind enough to join us on YouTube as well. So for our viewing audience, you get to put a name with a face if you haven't seen Angie. So Angie, thanks so much for the time today. I hate to start on a negative note, but I'm just curious. It's still kind of fresh. Just the reaction to Damian Martinez. It has been gut punch after gut punch to Oregon State for a while now. That one hurt, I think, because of how emphatically strong he was behind Oregon State after the Jonathan Smith stuff went down. Just your reaction and kind of the way the team has handled that here in the last week or so.
Yeah, I mean, we started hearing rumblings of that the weekend before it happened. And so, yeah, I think that, like you said, it's the way it went down after him coming out so publicly, and I'm with this team, and I'm loyal, and he's still merch, for goodness sakes, with the loyalty thing. So, at the end of the day, that there's some good talent there. I love what I've seen this spring. Anthony Hankerson, they transferred from Colorado. Jam Griffin is back from Ole Miss. It's next man up, and honestly, the team has practiced really, really solid the past week.
Sorry, Angie. We're gonna have to. Swag's going to try and call you back. Go ahead, Swag. Our phones are, yeah. So hey, that got fixed. So that's cool. Awesome.
Everything's great. Oregon State making up for Damian Martinez. The Hankerson kid is interesting. I liked him at Colorado. I thought he was kind of one of their weapons outside of Travis and what Shedeur obviously meant for them.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. He's kind of like a little Jaquiz-like. He's smaller, just big wrecking ball kid.
Yeah.
I want to see what he's like. Here's one of the interesting things. I'm not one that thinks you just easily replace Damian Martinez, right? Like a Jam Griffin or Hankerson. These are good players, but Damian was special. The thing I'm most fascinated with is at that position and at the others, the Gunderson offense.
Yep.
This is our first. And I know he was at UCLA and he had the label, but Chip Kelly being there makes you wonder how much is his versus Chip's. And we get a real idea. This is a real opportunity for a former Oregon State quarterback to showcase kind of what the offense is at least going to look like for them. Now, certainly questions at quarterback and what that's going to look like, but seeing and getting an idea of what the new offense is versus what we saw with Jonathan and Lindgren for so long, man, I am excited to tune in to see what it looks like and to see how Gunderson's kind of mapping this out with the pieces that they either kept, brought in, or, all of the returning players and the ones they brought in from the portal, how it's going to work with Gunderson's offense.
Well, and then all right, are we gonna try it again? We'll see if it works. Hey, Angie,
fingers crossed.
All right, Angie, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, we got you.
Yeah, that sounds way better.
Way better. I don't know what was going on there. We appreciated your answer on Damian Martinez, though. So we'll move on. Let's move on to more positive pastures here. Sprague, when we were just trying to get you back on, was talking about the offense and just kind of a new spin on it, right? Ryan Gunderson coming in as the OC, new faces in that running back room. What are we expecting? What are kind of some of the wrinkles that they're talking about because Jonathan Smith, we kind of knew what his calling card was, and now we get a new look at an offense.
It's going to be a completely new look offense. And, Ryan Gunderson, when I've actually had the chance to kind of talk to him about what his plan is, he's going to take what he's learned from Chip Kelly, what he's learned from Kevin McGivern. You're going to see a lot more up tempo, but not always up tempo. They're going to go tempo. They're going to slow it down, quicker reads. They're trying to, play calling is trying to be simplified so that guys, can learn the system a lot quicker. Quick release. They want someone that can get rid of the ball quickly, make a quick read, and go. So, like you mentioned, Anthony Hankerson, you're going to see more of the running backs catching the ball more from the backfield. There's going to be a little more of that. Just quick passes, quick slants. I mean, what you've seen from Chip Kelly, I think, is going to be a good indication. But then again, he's also going to work with what he has. He's not going to try to plug those, around. I think that was some of the talk with Damian Martinez was, he's not the best pass catcher out of the backfield. Well, they were working with him on that. But you play to your strengths. Hankerson has looked really good. Jam Griffin is back. So the running back room is looking good there. But it will be a totally different look offense. And I think probably one that's going to be hopefully fun for Beaver Nation.
What does an all Oregon State coaching staff look like coaching an Oregon State football team, Angie? We've seen, like Mike, for example, Corvallis kid, gets the dream job, right? Runs that, has some ties to Oregon State's past. This one clearly is Oregon State-centric built. The coaches on this staff played for this program. They understand what they're building and how they want to build it. What does that look like, an Oregon State staff full of Oregon State guys?
It's great for me, I'll tell you that, because half these guys I've either went to school with or I have covered as players. So, doing this job for 18 years and being a fundraiser before that, it's fun. It's fun, I guess. I'm an alumni, and then I cover a team. And so to see these guys, there's a passion there. And they, they've said, Oregon State needed us. This is when Oregon State needed us the most. And we're excited to be here. And I think that resonates with the players, too, and recruits. We hear it on the recruiting trail as well that, these coaches, Coach Smith had said the same kind of thing. But now Oregon State has this, 2 years to try to rebuild the pack or find a Power 5 home. And you have coaches that really, they're amazing recruiters. When you look at someone like Keith Hayward or Ryan Gunderson, Trent Bray's a great recruiter. He's always been one of the top ones with Coach Smith's staff. And then you bring in a couple guys like Thomas Ford, just the recruiting aspect is way improved. And then to see these guys running around and, I don't know if you saw, I think it was last week, Trent Bray was mic'd up on social media. They showed him, and he's trying to run down the field like
he's pretty intense.
So yeah. He is very intense, and but the players love it. And it's fun to see these guys back at a place that they know and that they love.
The quarterback battle is fascinating to me, Angie, because Gulbranson, we know he started a lot of games. He's won a bowl game, right? Like he's won a Civil War. Like he's been in big moments for Oregon State in years past, and then obviously was he kind of moved down the depth chart a little bit last year. Is it his job? Is he like getting the run with the ones? You bring in the transfer, the McCoy kid from Idaho, and then I believe it's Johnson from Missouri. Maybe they're still going to be active with other kids that are in the portal now because that is still an ongoing process. How do you view the quarterback room, and is it Gulbranson's job to lose?
No, it's not Gulbranson's. This has been a big topic on Beaver Blitz. Actually, right now I would say that, you're looking at McCoy from Idaho as the guy. Now, he struggled a little bit early in spring camp. Mm-hmm. Jabari Johnson from Missouri, originally from Washington State, he was in a boot the whole first half of spring camp. So he is now just starting to take some reps. He throws the best ball out of anybody in the room. So he's a redshirt freshman. Kind of keep your eye out on Jabari Johnson. McCoy was kind of the guy that everybody thought was going to be the guy. Like I said, struggled. He is starting to put things together a little more. Beaver fans love Ben Gulbranson. They love the quarterback that has kind of done some things. I would argue that Ben has a lot of limitations, and we've seen it. He doesn't get rid of the ball quickly, which is going to be something paramount in Coach Gunderson's offense. And if the pocket breaks down at all, you're in trouble. You know what you got. Great serviceable backup, but my opinion is if Ben Gulbranson's a starter on day one, it may be a rough season.
I'm excited to see Skylar Thomas, who didn't get to play last year at safety. I love that you guys highlighted Thomas Collins on the D-line. What area are you most curious about? Because it may be a weakness for Oregon State, pending on how things may look just as a sample size in the spring game.
Yeah, I think the offense is going to be the question mark. Defense is that secondary looks super strong right now. The D-line is going to be a different look. But defensively, Oregon State isn't changing up a bunch of stuff. This is the same defense. It's Trent Bray's basically his mold of a defense. So defensively, this team has dominated all spring. Offensively, there's been some injuries. Wide receivers have had some drops. Quarterback, obviously, is something to watch. The offensive line has had several injuries and guys sitting out this spring. So it's been a little bit different look. So I think if you're going to the spring game to see where the kind of the deficiencies are or where Oregon State really needs to take the next stride, it's going to be on the offensive side of the ball. Quarterback, a little bit of O-line, but I do think there's some depth there. They are looking at the portal for another lineman and another tight end. So keep your eye out on that in the off season. But, receivers is one as well. Just there's been some drops. There's just a brand new offense, a brand new a system. It's going to have some bumps here early. And it's not uncommon for that defense to be ahead of the game, especially even heading into fall camp.
Is there anything Beaver fans should be a little nervous about? Like, this portal thing is crazy. Is there any indication that an Oregon State player might still jump in that thing? Like, how do we feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to have to be some portal guys. There's going to be some more portal movement because right now Oregon State is over on scholarships heading into the summer. So in June, when all those guys, those new freshmen come in, Oregon State, I believe, is still 4 over by our count. So there's going to be more attrition. And, you hope it's not going to be, this is where after spring the coaches sit down with players and kind of give them, they know where they're at on the depth chart. And if they know they're not going to play, that's when they start to look at maybe jumping in the portal, finding a home that they can contribute. So don't panic. It's not going to be a bad thing. It's going to have to happen. And if you've watched the portal at all this week in the past 2 weeks, there's guys jumping in left and right. It's not just an Oregon State issue.
Yeah, no doubt. It affects every program across the country. Angie Machado, at Angie Machado1 on Twitter. Go give her a follow. Beaver Blitz, of course. Always great covering Oregon State. Enjoy the spring showcase. Thanks so much for the time this morning. Thanks for putting up with our technical difficulties. And hopefully we can catch up again soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. There you go. Angie Machado. That was like we were like a staggered fighter there at the end of the round, just trying to make it to the corner when we started to get that again. Just find the bell. Get to the bell. Ding ding ding. Okay, there you go. End of the segment.
It's gonna be 28 days for me.
28 days for
Not
you.
a word. Not a word.
Not for me.
It's easily the offense.
Easily no doubt.
I mean, the coach is a defensive coach. Normally, your head coach, whatever the identity of that's the side that should be a little stronger. So I'm not shocked to hear that the offense is the biggest question. And it's not, I think, necessarily a shot at Gunderson because we haven't seen him in this role.
No.
Quarterback uncertainty, receiver drops.
Did you agree with her on Cole Branson? Because he's the only one that we have a depth of knowledge of. The other guys, one came from Idaho, who played the last 2 years.
Was a stud at that level.
Really good
the
at that
FCS
level.
Yeah.
And then the other guy was I think he was hurt at Missouri and then transferred in. I think there's also some swirlings that maybe the Utah State quarterback's in the portal, and Oregon State might try and go after him. So maybe they're going to add another guy to that position. We'll wait and see on
Here's the thing. I can't disagree with her. I haven't seen the other two play.
Yeah.
You
didn't watch Idaho play last year? What the hell's the matter with you?
I know Idaho put up a lot of points. They were a nice, fun offense that, Idaho potato fans were super excited to watch, but I didn't watch them play. I'm sorry. And the other kid from Missouri, I've not seen him play. I'll give you a take on Monday. I am going to watch this.
Yeah,
I give you a lot of crap. But I watched Ohio State's spring game. I'm going to watch Oregon's. I'm going to watch Oregon State's. I'll tune in and catch what Washington's doing.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye on what's going on. I'll report back on the quarterback thing. He's been there the longest. He was there for their most successful season. So I understand the outside perspective could be, why would it not be him? But if the offense is a quick hit, get the ball out, and he's not doing it.
Yeah.
Experience doesn't really matter there. It's about what your ability is. He's also not mobile.
No, he cannot move. He cannot move.
He's not very mobile, and so maybe they're looking for kind of a more dual threat type of situation. We'll have to wait and see what the other guys look like.
There's no doubt it's an added impact to the offense to have somebody who can pick up 7 yards when the pocket crumbles around you as opposed to just falling to the ground or forcing a ball into double coverage. So I'm excited, man. Spring Showcase. It's just a reminder of hey, that's right. College football, it's around the corner.
Couple more months, camp's here.
I know. It's going to be here before we know it. Oregon State Spring Showcase is mañana